Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk Forest TV here. We have got Scott to my left.
How are we doing, Dan? All right?
Yeah, you.
Yes, mate. Very good, thank you.
Well, it's been an interesting start to year for Forest. We got Arsenal in the cup on Sunday as well, so and quite a exciting week at the minute.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't want to get too excited about the Arsenal game. I went a few years ago. We got battered in I think it was the League Cup.
Yeah.
But I suppose you never know, do you, in the cup? But I'm going. So yeah, fingers crossed. It wouldn't surprise me if he puts out a decent team, but I'm not sure if Arsenal will. But I don't know. I think the league's our priority, isn't it? And
Yeah.
whether he goes with a strong team, he might think that Barnsley game's been rescheduled and we've got to stick an extra game in. So, but I don't know. I kind of get the impression he'll put an half decent team out.
I agree. I can't see him putting out a really decent team against Arsenal. We don't know what sort of team Arsenal are going to put out, especially with them playing Liverpool and Spurs. Well, Liverpool and Spurs in a sandwich between them next couple of games. So it'd be interesting to see how Arsenal will play out as well.
Yeah, well, they're no doubt their reserve team will cost more than our team anyway. So you'll definitely have some decent players in there. I'm sure. When they beat us 5-0, didn't they, in the cup a few years ago down at the Emirates, and that Martinelli played up front and he was awesome that night, and he's starting to find his feet in the Premier League now. So no doubt they'll have another one coming through the ranks that might get a go on Sunday.
Definitely. It'd be nice to see a couple of the new players getting involved on Sunday as well. Especially
I think hopefully Steve Cook will get a game, and then maybe if they get this other lad signed up today, I don't know how to pronounce his surname actually, but the lad from Toronto, it'll be it wouldn't surprise me if they both played if he signs, if they both play.
Definitely. It'd be nice. How do you feel about Keenan Davis? Because I know a lot of fans quite optimistic with him, especially with giving that sort of different approach with him to Grabban and Taylor. But a lot of people are like saying that his goal scoring record's not the best.
Yeah, I forgot about him actually. I think that's definitely an area we need to improve on, isn't it? Lyle Taylor's not really kicked on since scoring those goals at Bristol City, and it looked like that might be just the thing that he needed. But he's been ineffective, hasn't he? When we've played, when I've watched him at home this season, he's just been ineffective, and it's a shame because you want players to do well, but he's just not really been up to it, and we need something different up front. I think Lewis Grabban, what is he, 33, possibly 34? He can't be expected to do it all. And I think he's a different player to what he was kind of 8 years ago, where I think he used to play on the shoulder quite a lot. But his age is just catching up with him a little bit. And while he's still got he's got a bit of pace, 46 games or whatever in the Championship, it's a lot to ask of him. And I don't think Lewis's game is really around hold-up play anyway. I think he's got better at it as he's got older. But I'm quite looking forward to us having somebody, hopefully, with a bit more of a physical presence up front. I don't think it's Lewis's or Lyle Taylor's kind of, the best attribute, to be honest. So sometimes I think we've lacked having somebody to rough up a few defenders. Do you know what I mean? And because in years gone by, Forest have been a bit, maybe a little bit flaky at the back and a bit famous for being roughed up, being a bit of a soft touch at the back. But I suppose the shame about that is that Lyle Taylor did just that when we played Charlton at home a few years ago, and we thought, crikey, we could do with somebody like him who he terrorised us that night. He was so aggressive, scored a cracking goal, and we haven't seen a performance like that from Lyle Taylor in a Forest shirt.
We haven't.
Davis he'll be hopefully he'll be all right. And you know, with strikers, sometimes they need a goal, don't they? And we're creating enough chances, so you know, it'd be great if he gets himself an early goal and gets his confidence up. It could be a decent move.
Yeah, I mean, we said about Grabban. I mean, last season it probably wasn't Grabban's season, probably worse in his professional career, to be fair. And this season, he scored like 5 in 7 games. That sort of after that goal against Cardiff, and it just seems to like kicked on since then. He seems to be like Grabban, but a little bit more of a different Grabban to like 3 years ago. Like you said, he's playing his game has changed completely. Like it goes onto the right, left, and he's doing a lot more where he hadn't been doing, to be fair.
Yeah, he's dropping a lot deeper into to get the ball, and sometimes you get a bit, I don't know, you get a bit frustrated because you want to get in the box, Lewis. That's where we want you. And but you can't. At the end of the day, you can't really fault Lewis Grabban because you know when he gets a chance, he normally sticks them away. So he's good when he gets on these little runs, to be honest, because he seems to go on a run and he'll score kind of like every other game for a while. So, but I think he just needs some help. So hopefully this lad from Villa coming in will, you know, be the help that he needs a little bit.
Definitely. I mean, Davis will win that all-round physical strength rate. I'm trying to work it out, and it probably bar Henderson, we only had Henderson and Adebola that did offer that sort of physical strength up top. I mean, that's going back quite a few years since. Well, definitely Adebola, but Henderson, it's got to be a good 7-8 years.
Yeah, well, I suppose we had Blackstock and Adebola around. They were about the same time, weren't we? Blackstock he could ask, you know, do a bit of the physical side of it. But like I say, Henderson was good at it. But yeah, I'm just struggling to think now kind of who we might have had since then. Because I think it was like we had Billy Sharp and crikey, Earnshaw, those types of smaller players that, yeah, been a bit pretty football around the box. But I quite like a centre forward sometimes who just wants to bully a centre half and kind of intimidate them. So yeah, it'd be quite good if this lad's got something about him up top. I'm all for that.
Yeah, definitely. Arsenal game as well. I mean, they are coming into their own at the minute with the performances and results. I mean, bar the big teams, I mean, they are getting them performances and them results like Forest have been this season. So, I mean, if both teams are on it, it will be a very, very exciting games to watch for both fans and the neutral.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, whatever team Arsenal put out is going to be full of quality, I think, and it'd be quite nice to put a strong team out to see what we've got, see what we look like against, you know, a decent Premier League outfit. But I don't think there's any doubt in the gap has got that much bigger. And when I went to the Emirates, I was really looking forward to going there and, you know, go to that nice ground, and we just got battered that night. And we didn't have a go, and I think that was the most annoying thing, is that we kind of sat about. We put a weekend team out. We didn't really have a go, and it was a bit of a wasted trip, to be honest. So it'd be quite nice to see us have a go, you know, have a go at Arsenal. And even if it's a weekend team, it would be just nice to go and see us have a go at somebody. But I would like to think under Steve Cooper that we'll have that now. We didn't have that under Sabri when I went to Arsenal a few years ago. We definitely wouldn't have had it under Chris Hughton. But under Steve Cooper, you kind of feel like they'll have a go. People will be paying. There'll be a full house. And I think he'll be wanting to send the fans home happy at least that we've had a go at them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you kind of do know that Cooper will set us up right and get us fired up for the game. I mean, he hadn't put foot one, bar the odd mistake, he hadn't put foot one in terms of getting us tactically right for the game, bar the odd game.
No, and I think he's changed things, hasn't he, in matches as well, which has been like refreshing to see. He's not been afraid to, you know, swap things around halfway through the match, change the formation. You make subs. And it's just, I don't know, it just feels so much better when you're watching them, that you kind of feel like they will do something, even though they're having a bit of an off night, like they were, against Middlesbrough. It was an off day, but they still created, a couple of good chances that they should have got in, really. If Zinkernagel had sorted that one out in the first half, then he had that terrible miss in the second half against Borough, and we should have been out of sight. But if we got one of those, I think we'd have been well back in it, because we actually had a good spell at that point for 10, 15 minutes. But, under previous managers, I don't think that would have come, at all. And I think it just would have been, once you go 1-0, that's it. It's almost like game over. But it feels like, with the way he wants to play on the counter-attack, that we'll always have a bit of a chance. No matter how bad we play, there will be something. And I guess against Huddersfield, they created so many chances, didn't they? And they were unlucky, really. They conceded a bit of a sloppy goal, but we should have been back in that game. We should have won it, really, again, for some sloppy finishing. So, yeah, maybe that break of not playing against Barnsley refreshed a few people. Sounds like COVID had gone through the camp a little bit. So, yeah, maybe we'll put a decent strength team out, because when's the next game? Is it the following weekend at Millwall?
Yeah.
Yeah, so otherwise, that'll be a big break from the 30th of December till the 17th. I think it's 16th or 17th against Millwall. So that's quite a break, that is. So I don't think you'd want to leave the players without a game for that long. So maybe we'll pull out a strong team for Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. Do you feel like this break would have done us quite well anyway, especially with it being with the hectic Christmas schedule? Do you think that this break would have done us good going into Arsenal?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to do us any harm. And I think, it's one of them, isn't it, really? Because everyone was going down like flies with COVID, and everybody was cancelling the games left, right, and centre. We, to our credit, and I think David Johnson called somebody out on Twitter to say that it was to the Forest players' credit, to the professionalism, that they'd really been strict and stayed away from people, and to get the games on. But it was just a bit sod's law for us that we played those two games. They've been ever so disciplined and professional, and we lost them both. And we were struggling with a few injuries at that point. So, yeah, it was a bit of sod's law, to be honest. So maybe that third game might have come at a decent time, although I don't think Barnsley are playing particularly well. So yeah, but at least we've signed a couple more players, haven't we? So hopefully there'll be a few more coming through the door. So if we've got those reinforcements away as well, I don't know. I'm feeling quite optimistic about this January transfer business.
Yeah, I was going to touch up on that again. It's very rare you see Forest doing so much business so early. It's always been Forest that we either left it for a couple of weeks, then we started doing it, or we just panic buying. So it's quite nice to see Forest actually doing the business early and actually getting it spot on.
Oh, yeah. The amount of times I've nearly thrown my phone out the window on transfer deadline day, because you're scrolling it all day, or just refreshing all the time, looking through anything. And then you kind of get to midnight and still nothing. I remember that George Boyd thing.
Yeah.
I was all going through, and I'd gone to bed at that point. Brilliant. George Boyd, happy with that. What a signing. And then woke up to the failed eye test. So we've had some shocking ones, really. I think we've had somewhere we've, like say, panic bought at the last minute, and we don't really know who these players are. So, yeah, to get these players done early, and they look like good signings as well. It's like Steve Cook at the back, feels like he'll fit in lovely next to Joe Worrell and Scott McKenna.
Yeah, definitely. Can you see us playing with a back three or back four? It's very cool, because especially if you play a back four, it'd be hard to take either Worrell or McKenna out, because they're from that really good partnership. But then with Cook, it will give us that bit more experience at the back, so it gives us quite a good dilemma.
I think so. I think he'll go with a back three, you know.
Mm.
When I went to the Hull game, I think he picked Ryan Yates over Figueiredo, and he played Ryan Yates at the back, and I think he wanted somebody who was just better on the ball. And I thought coming out of defence, Forest looked like really good. I thought we've got three centre halves here who can all pass the ball. We've got two flying wing backs. So I think with Steve Cooper, I don't think he was probably thinking, well, Ryan Yates might not play centre half, you know, longer term. But I think what Steve Cooper gives you is you know, good on the ball, confident with like both feet, and then probably just as a competitor as Figueiredo. I quite like Figueiredo. I quite like him. He always gets stuck in. He always gives it his all. He just makes a few mistakes, doesn't he, now and again? But I think we've got a leader, and I think he's got those really good attributes. So I think that's a real. Hopefully, we've had these ones on paper before, though, aren't we, Dan? When you think Harry Hart is a cracking signing, and he turned out to be a nightmare. So he looks good on paper. I'm optimistic, and just fingers crossed he lives up to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with Figueiredo, I mean, talking to quite a few fans, especially with that, when we do get all these signings in, I mean, outgoings, I mean, Figueiredo seems to be one that, yeah, we want him to stay with it. He just gets stuck in and that, but he's the one that I probably can see him go more than, except for the bombs one. Figueiredo would probably be the more that could do. I know he had his personal issues outside club, so it'd be that one away. I think out of everyone, I'd probably see Fig going more than Eric.
Yeah, I think it's looking that way, isn't it? But I'm hoping that they'll. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll keep hold of him till the summer, and hopefully Worrell will stay. I think Worrell will stay. I think if Forest don't get a massive bid in, it's too good not to turn down. It'd be nice. I think, yeah, it'd be good to see Worrell. You know, if he's going to leave, then it'd be good to see him end on a bit of a high note at Forest and having a good push on. Because I don't think anybody would, you know, begrudge him a move after, you know, he's given some decent service. But it'd just be nice, you know, as a Nottingham lad, if we've got a sniff of the playoffs or getting promotion, it'd be nice to have a Nottingham lad kind of in the team to see it through. Who's been through the academy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. If I'm being honest, I mean, even if he takes us up and actually holds the even the league title or even playoff trophy, can on a really good high.
Yeah, I think so, and I think for like Ryan Yates as well, it'd be good for him. But I think Steve Cook, what he'll give us maybe is to like calm us down a little bit. Breeze Sambers gets a bit flappy sometimes, and I think Joe Worrell can get a bit flappy. And then we had Yates the other week scoring that own goal, which sometimes is concentration. I think Steve Cook, we haven't really got anybody of that age other than Lewis Grabban, who's at the other end of the field. So I think with him, we've got Jack Colback coming into the team. I think that's like a really important spine of the team. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, crikey, you've got Ryan Yates, James Garner, and Jack Colback kind of competing for places in midfield. We've got the wing backs. I don't know. If we get this lad from Toronto, and all right, you watch YouTube clips and you know, players can look amazing on YouTube, but he looks like he fits the bill in terms of what we want from a wing back. And if we've got Max Lowe coming back, and this lad's gonna, he looks like he can play on either side. So it'd be a nice bit of competition because obviously when we've lost Max Lowe or Jed Spencer's been injured, we've been a bit stuffed, haven't we, in those areas?
We have been, to be fair. I mean, I completely agree with you. As well with Cook as well, I touched on the part that it gives that experience about. I mean, it's nice to have the leader at the back because they're disrespected Grabban, but he's playing up top, so having someone at the back just balances that sort of experience out from back to front.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm a bit of a traditionalist anyway, so I think either, you know, a midfielder or a defender. I'm not too big on strikers or goalkeepers being captains because they are stuck at one end of the pitch. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he gives Cook the skipper's armband or not. I mean, I don't think he will. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Whether he'll take it off Graben. I know Worrell's had it a few times, hasn't he? So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, when they made Graben captain, I thought they would have changed it, but it seemed like we kept it the same. So it will be interesting to see with Cook coming in, what will happen.
Yeah, but I think another leader anyway. I think that's a good move, and all the Bournemouth fans have spoke quite highly of him. As a person as well. So it sounds like maybe we're getting a good character for the dressing room. I know that kind of Joe Worrell said, when we were struggling last season under Lamucci, he was talking about, there was some big time Charlies in the dressing room kind of thing. So it sounds like we've got some decent characters in the team. So not only can they play, I think to have some good characters, it could be really important, because I think Forest gets, I think the expectations sometimes, we are a fairly big club. When you get the crowds that we are getting crowds, I know we've not been in the Premier League for a long time, but that expectation doesn't go away. And I think sometimes you can sense it in the crowd. The crowd get frustrated. And I think that does go channels down into the players sometimes where they can get a bit rattled. So I think the more experience we can get of people who've been there, got the T-shirt and had success, I think that will be a big plus as well.
Exactly. I've been saying that Cook's been there, got the T-shirt, he's been up, he played in Premier League. It came down to he got that sort of experience and the knowledge to actually pass over to everyone.
Yeah, and I think the recruitment, I think it's just showing that we're starting to look more like a team rather than, relying on individuals. Because the last few seasons it's been, Lolly, relying on Lolly to cut inside and smash one in from 25 yards. And it was Sammy Amiobi, relying on him to do something. Even James Garner to a degree last season to score a goal. And it was always relying on a bit of moment of brilliance from somebody. We play dead cagey and then just rely on that single moment. But now it feels like Cooper's building a team that everybody can play, everybody can contribute to to really have a go. So yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, I'd like maybe a striker to rival Lewis Graben. I'm not sure Keenan Davis will do that, but it'd be bloody amazing if he scores a few goals and he does provide that competition. But I would still think that Graben would be the first choice striker. I'm not sure we'll play them both together.
Nah, I can't see us playing both together. I mean, we don't even play Taylor and Graben together. So
yeah, so I don't know. I'm just really optimistic. I think what he's doing, and he's obviously being backed. When was it under Lamucci? We signed 3 disasters, didn't we? Who was it? Diakabi, Bong, and somebody else who wasn't much cop, I don't think. I can't think who it was.
DaCosta, Barnum.
No, that was it. Yeah, DaCosta.
Yeah.
And they waited I think they waited a while to get them in, but they weren't. Yeah, they turned out to be duds, didn't they? Really.
I think all them were deadline day. I think we got can't be that day before. We got DaCosta deadline day. I think we got Bond deadline day as well.
So they were, yeah. So they weren't good. They weren't good signs, and we were crying out. The squad was crying out for being strengthened, and it didn't. Did it? It weakened it more than anything. But you kind of feel at the minute that Steve Cook will probably be first choice. Davis is probably going to get a good go. I mean, I'm going to be having kittens if they sign Jed Wallace. I mean, that'll be like unreal to kind of, if they get him, I don't know how close that is, but that'll be an unreal signing if they get him.
I mean, Jed Wallace, it'll be that sort of signing that we need. I mean, he seems to be playing more in that number 10 role now. When we do play in like a 4-2-3-1 or 3-4-1-2, I mean, Johnson, when we do play for at back, he seems to be playing like near enough next to Graben.
Yeah.
Or if we do play at the windows, he's that on one wing and someone else on the other wing. So getting another winger and especially the quality of Jed Wallace, it will just strengthen that attacking Arsenal completely.
Yeah, I think it'll make them quite fluid because like Zinchenko can play wide and in that middle spot, and if Jed Wallace is doing it as well, and then we've got Brennan that can drift. It feels like that'll be quite fluid, really. So, I mean, crikey, I don't want to get my hopes up over that one, but if they can get him, then I think that's a proper show of intent. I think if they get him, then I think this means, we're going for it.
Yeah, definitely. What was your scoreline be on and it's a Saturday then? It's Sunday.
I don't know. I'll go with an optimistic. I think we'll go down. I think we'll lose, but I'm thinking we'll have a go. And I'll say 3-2 Arsenal.
I think there will be goals in it, to be fair, because the last couple of games against Arsenal, there always been goals in it. So 5-0, 4-2, 4-0. I can't remember the other one, but I know there've been like goals.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a good game. We give them a go. I won't be too fussed if we get knocked out, but crikey, if we beat them, it'll be amazing. And it'll, what that'll give to the players confidence wise, if they get a good result, that could be so important coming off the back of, those defeats at Christmas.
Yeah, definitely, and give Steve Cooper an outward. We do.
Well, you can wait till the summer for that when he gets us promoted.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for coming on.
No worries, Dan. All right, cheers for having me.
It's okay. So that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. So that's it. Thank you.